The Galactic Command was not ready for what came next. Their fleets were proud, strong, and built over centuries of conquest. Each alien admiral believed their empire was safe. They believed the humans were broken long ago, their world burned, their spirit crushed. But on that night, the universe reminded them that some enemies never die. The Phantom warship moved like a shadow through the dark void of space. No lights, no signal, no energy trail. It was as if the ship was a ghost, sliding between stars. The alien sensors searched for it, but every time they thought they had locked on, the reading vanished. Then, without warning, the first strike came. A patrol cruiser of the alien fleet was the first victim. One moment it was scanning the void, the next moment a white flash cut through its armored hull. In seconds, the entire cruiser cracked apart, glowing fragments scattering into nothing. No distress call. No chance to fight back. Impossible! An alien officer shouted from the command bridge of the nearest battleship. His scales turned pale as he watched the feed. No weapon can pierce our shields so fast. But it had happened. Before the shock even settled, the Phantom warship appeared, just for a second, on their screens. A strange black silhouette, sharp like a blade, with glowing red lines across its hull. Then, just as quickly, it vanished. The fleet panicked. Dozens of alien ships changed formation, weapons charging, scanning every direction. Commands echoed through their comms. Find it! Track the ghost! Defend the flagship! But no matter what they tried, the Phantom warship was already moving again. It slipped through the cracks of their formation like a predator among blind prey. The second strike came moments later. This time, an entire destroyer exploded in silence. The crew did not even have time to scream. The blast was so precise, so clean, it looked like the ship had been erased from existence. The admiral of the alien fleet gritted his fangs. "Show yourself, coward! Fight us face to face!" As if answering, the Phantom warship revealed itself for a brief instant. It emerged from behind the shadow of a moon, its black surface swallowing the starlight. It was larger than the alien battleships, but it moved with impossible speed. Its design was nothing like the alien fleets had ever seen. Smooth, curved armor, no visible engines, and weapons that glowed with an eerie red light. The alien fleet fired everything they had. Beams of energy, plasma torpedoes, and kinetic cannons filled the space around the Phantom. Explosions lit up the void like 1,000 suns. For a moment, the aliens believed they had trapped it. But when the smoke cleared, the Phantom was gone. Not destroyed. Not damaged. Simply gone. Suddenly, 3 alien cruisers in the rear of the formation exploded at the same time. Their screams echoed through the comms as the Phantom warship reappeared right behind them. Its weapons fired again, silent but deadly, cutting through shields as if they were paper. "It is not a ship," one alien whispered in terror. "It is a demon." Panic spread like fire. The alien formation broke apart. Some tried to retreat, others rushed forward in desperation. But none of it mattered. The Phantom moved like a shadow of death, striking wherever it pleased. On the command bridge of the alien flagship, officers shouted reports. 7 ships lost. We cannot lock on. Our shields are useless. The admiral slammed his claw on the control panel. His voice shook with rage, but also with fear. What is this weapon? Who built it? Then came the answer. For the first time, the Phantom warship broadcasted a message. The voice that filled the comms was cold, human, and full of fire. "We are humanity. You thought we were finished. You thought you erased us. But we are still here. And we remember." The alien bridge fell silent. Every officer froze as the truth stabbed their hearts. The humans had returned. Before they could react, the Phantom warship unleashed its fury again. A massive beam cut through the enemy lines, wiping out 3 more battleships in a single shot. The aliens screamed in horror as their proud fleet collapsed around them. Ships tried to run. Some turned to hyperspace, some fled blindly into the void. But none could escape. Wherever they went, the Phantom followed. Silent, relentless, unstoppable. By the time the battle ended, the stars were filled with burning wrecks. Dozens of alien ships had been destroyed, and not a single human casualty was recorded. The Phantom warship hovered in silence, watching the flames. Then, like a ghost, it vanished into the dark once more. The galaxy had just witnessed something impossible. A dead race had risen again, and their vengeance was only beginning. The alien fleet was calm and confident. Their ships floated in formation around the dark side of the system's largest moon. The admirals on their bridges believed the patrol was routine, nothing more than another watch for minor threats. For centuries, their empire had ruled without challenge. They thought no one in the galaxy dared to fight them now. But they were wrong. In the silence of space, something moved. It was not on their scanners. No signal marked its approach. It was as if the darkness itself had shaped into a ship. The Phantom warship was there, sliding across the void without sound, without light, like a predator waiting for its first kill. The alien crews had no warning. The first strike came in a flash of red fire. A patrol cruiser at the edge of the formation was split in half by a single beam. One moment the ship was there, scanning, alive with crew members shouting across comms. The next moment, it was gone, burned into two glowing fragments that drifted away in silence. The alien commander of the nearest battleship froze in disbelief. His claws dug into the armrest of his chair. What happened? Who fired that shot? No one answered. The comms were filled with static and alarm calls. Officers shouted reports. Our shields detected nothing. The energy signature does not match any known weapon. We are under attack. Before they could regroup, the second strike came. This time a destroyer was hit. A thin red beam pierced through its shield like it was nothing but mist. The hull cracked, and the ship imploded, fragments scattering across the black. There were no survivors. The alien fleet erupted into panic. Orders were shouted everywhere. Raise defenses. Spread formation. Find the enemy ship. But nothing appeared on their scanners. Every attempt to track the attacker failed. The Phantom warship did not show itself, at least not fully. It flickered in and out of vision, just for a second, enough for a terrified officer to glimpse its outline. A sharp, black vessel with strange glowing lines, built for speed and destruction. The admiral snarled. No ship can cloak like this. No ship can fire with such power. Where did it come from? A third strike answered him. 3 cruisers vanished at once, their hulls torn apart by invisible fire. The destruction was too fast, too precise. The fleet looked like helpless prey trapped inside a hunter's cage. Some of the younger officers began to whisper in fear. This is not a ship. It is a demon. Their words spread quickly, fueling panic. Ships broke formation. Some turned their weapons in every direction, firing blindly into the void. Others tried to retreat. But the Phantom followed them, always one step ahead. On the flagship's bridge, the admiral slammed his fist on the console. Cowards! Stand your ground! No ghost will defeat the Empire. And then, as if to answer his pride, the Phantom warship revealed itself. It emerged from the shadow of the moon, massive and silent. Its surface was darker than the void, swallowing the starlight around it. Strange red lines pulsed across its armor like veins of fire. No visible engines, no ordinary weapons, only an aura of dread. The alien fleet opened fire. Dozens of beams, torpedoes, and cannons lit up space, a storm of destruction crashing down on the Phantom. For a moment, it seemed trapped in the center of the attack. Explosions burst all around it. The aliens shouted in victory. But when the light faded, the Phantom ship was untouched. Not a scratch on its black surface. Then it struck back. A wave of red energy blasted from its hull, slicing through 3 battleships at once. The ships broke apart as if cut by a blade. The screams of their crews echoed through the comms until silence consumed them. The admiral's eyes widened. No, this cannot be. At last, a voice came from the Phantom warship. It was not alien. It was human. The voice was calm, but filled with fury. You thought humanity was finished. You thought Earth burned and forgotten. But we remember. And now, you will remember us. Every alien officer froze. Their hearts pounded with fear. Humanity. The name itself was like a nightmare come alive. Before they could react, the Phantom fired again. Another fleet wing shattered. More ships tried to flee, but none escaped. The Phantom moved with impossible speed, always striking from behind, always destroying with a single shot. Hours felt like minutes. By the end of the battle, dozens of alien ships were gone. The proud fleet that once ruled the stars was nothing but drifting wreckage. And the Phantom warship, untouched, stood alone among the flames. It did not stay to claim victory. It did not take survivors. It simply hovered for a moment, silent and terrifying, watching the destruction it had caused. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, it vanished back into the void. The galaxy had just witnessed its first taste of human vengeance. And this was only the beginning. The battle was over, but its echo shook the galaxy. The wrecks of the alien fleet still drifted in silence, glowing in the cold dark. News of the disaster spread faster than light. Across hundreds of systems, whispers became fear, and fear became terror. The Empire, once proud and unshaken, was now trembling. On a distant colony world, a group of alien merchants listened to the reports on a holoscreen. Their eyes widened in disbelief as the images repeated: ships torn apart, fleets destroyed, all by a single unknown vessel. "This cannot be real," one whispered. "It is a lie. No ship can do this." But deep inside, they all knew it was true. On military outposts, soldiers talked in hushed voices. The word "phantom" was repeated again and again. Some said it was a weapon stolen from an ancient race. Others swore it was not technology at all, but something supernatural, a curse from the void itself. And then came the most frightening rumor of all, that the Phantom was not alien, but human. The memory of humanity still haunted the Empire. Long ago, humans had fought with a ferocity no other race could match. The Empire had crushed them, burning their world, scattering the survivors. They believed humanity was gone forever. But now, the survivors had returned with something far beyond the Empire's understanding. In the great capital city of the Empire, the Council of Lords gathered in panic. Towering figures from many alien species filled the chamber, their faces grim. The news had reached them first, an entire fleet destroyed without warning, without mercy. An elder lord rose to speak, his voice shaking. "We face an enemy we cannot track, cannot predict, and cannot stop. Who can tell me what this Phantom warship truly is?" Another lord, his skin scaled and silver, slammed his claw on the table. "It is only one ship. We control thousands. If it dares to strike again, we will crush it." But many in the chamber did not agree. A younger official leaned forward, whispering words that froze the council. "You do not understand. It is not the ship we should fear. It is who commands it. The humans have returned." The chamber erupted in noise. Shouts and arguments filled the hall. Some denied it, others panicked, and a few demanded immediate war preparations. But the fear was already rooted. If humanity had truly survived, then the Empire's greatest mistake was not destroying them completely. Far away, on the outer colonies, alien civilians could feel the shift. Patrols doubled, defenses activated, and propaganda spread across every channel. The Empire tried to calm its people with strong words: "The situation is under control. The Phantom is nothing but a trick. We remain the masters of the galaxy." But the people did not believe. Night after night, more reports came. Merchant ships lost without a trace. Patrol fleets never returning. A mining station gone silent. Every unexplained event was now blamed on the Phantom warship. Fear was everywhere, and no one felt safe. In the darkness of the galaxy, the humans were not just fighting. They were sending a message. Every strike, every destroyed ship, every whisper of terror, it all built the legend of the Phantom. Meanwhile, deep inside the Empire's central command, the admirals worked without rest. Maps filled with red markers. Fleets were reassigned, convoys rerouted, and scouts sent to every corner of space. But no matter how hard they tried, the Phantom warship was never found until it wanted to be found. The Empire's greatest weapons, ships larger than cities, were prepared. Yet some officers refused to speak aloud what they felt inside, that no matter how powerful their ships were, they would fall like the others. In the shadows of the council chambers, One cold truth was accepted silently. Humanity was not dead. Humanity was stronger than before. And if this was only the beginning, then the galaxy itself was in danger. The Phantom Warship had become more than a weapon. It was a story, a warning, a nightmare that spread faster than the speed of light. Children on alien worlds whispered about the humans who returned from fire. Soldiers checked the darkness of space with shaking hands. Traders refused to travel alone. For the first time in generations, the Empire was afraid. And somewhere in the endless dark, the Phantom Warship watched. Its human crew waited in silence, planning their next strike. For them, this was not just war. This was justice. This was revenge. The galaxy had lived too long believing humans were weak. Now it would learn the truth. The age of fear had begun. The galaxy trembled in fear, but inside the Phantom Warship, there was only silence. The ship drifted like a shadow, far from any star, hidden deep in the cold dark. Its black hull absorbed all light, making it look less like a vessel and more like a ghost carved from the void. Within its walls, humans walked. They were not like the soft, fragile people the aliens remembered from centuries ago. These humans were hardened, forged in fire and loss. Every soldier carried scars, some on their skin, others deep inside their hearts. They were the last survivors of a broken world, united by one purpose: revenge. The command chamber glowed dimly, lit by red lines that pulsed like veins across the walls. In the center stood Captain Darius Kane, the commander of the Phantom Warship. His face was sharp, his eyes cold as steel. He had seen Earth burn. He had watched his family die in the alien invasion long ago. Now he carried the weight of humanity's vengeance on his shoulders. A young officer approached him. "Captain, the enemy fleets are spreading thin. They are afraid. They cannot find us." Kane gave a slow nod. His voice was calm, but each word carried the weight of fire. "Good. Let them fear the dark. Fear is our weapon before the strike." Around him, the crew listened in silence. These were not ordinary humans. They were soldiers from the kill teams, an elite force trained in secret after the fall of Earth. For years, they had hidden in the shadows, building weapons the aliens could not detect. Now, with the Phantom Warship, they had become the hunters. In the lower decks, soldiers prepared for battle. They checked their weapons, rifles with silent plasma fire, blades that could cut through alien armor, and explosives designed to shatter even the strongest shields. They spoke little, but when they did, their words were sharp. They thought we were extinct. They thought wrong. One soldier, a veteran named Mira Solon, sat with her team. Her hand traced the edge of a steel blade, the same blade she had carried since the fall of Earth. Her voice was quiet, almost a whisper. "Every alien ship we destroy is for the children who never grew up under our sky." The others nodded. For them, this was not only war, it was memory. Each attack was a message written in fire. Humanity still lived. Back in the command chamber, Captain Kane looked at the star map. Red marks spread across the galaxy where alien fleets had fallen. The humans had been careful, striking quickly, then vanishing before the Empire could respond. Each battle was planned to spread fear, not just destruction. "Captain," said another officer, her voice steady. "Scouts report the Alien Council has declared emergency measures. They are calling us a phantom. Some even think we are not human." Kane's lips curved into the smallest of smiles. "Good. Let them doubt. Let them guess. The truth will break them when it matters most." He turned to his crew. His voice rose, echoing through the chamber. "They burned Earth. They thought our ashes would scatter into nothing. But we became something greater. We became the fire they cannot put out. Every battle we fight reminds them of their crime. And every victory brings us closer to justice." The soldiers around him pounded their fists against their chests in silent agreement. The warship itself seemed to hum in response, as if it shared their anger. Deep inside the engineering bay, the secret of the Phantom Warship pulsed. The ship was not built like alien vessels. It was crafted from fragments of alien technology stolen in raids, mixed with human ingenuity. The core that powered it was something new, something the aliens had never seen. It bent light, masked energy, and made the ship almost invisible to sensors. The weapon systems were equally terrifying, focused beams of energy that could cut through shields and armor like paper. But the greatest weapon was not the ship. It was the humans who commanded it. Their will, sharpened by loss, was unbreakable. In the quiet mess hall, soldiers sat together. No laughter filled the air, only determination. Some polished weapons, others studied maps, but all carried the same fire in their eyes. A young recruit finally spoke. "Do you think the galaxy will understand? That this is not just war, but justice?" Mira looked at him, her gaze hard but gentle. "The galaxy will understand when the Empire falls. When the last tyrant remembers the name of humanity before the end." The room fell silent again. But in that silence, there was strength. Back in the command chamber, Captain Kane looked once more at the map. His hand hovered over the alien capital system. It was still far, still guarded by fleets beyond number. But he knew they would reach it. Step by step, strike by strike, the Phantom would carve a path of fire straight into the enemy's heart. He whispered to himself, words that carried through the silence. They thought Earth was the end. But Earth was only the beginning. The Phantom warship drifted forward, engines silent, weapons ready. Somewhere in the distance, another alien fleet waited. Another fleet that believed it was safe. Another fleet about to learn the truth. The humans moved like shadows within their ship, preparing once again. Their faces were calm, their hearts burning with rage. The galaxy called it a phantom. But soon, they would know it for what it truly was, humanity's vengeance. And the vengeance was just beginning. The alien empire had run out of patience. Fear had spread across their worlds like a plague. Fleets had been lost, stations destroyed, and convoys vanished in silence. The Phantom warship had become more than an enemy. It was a nightmare. But now, the Empire prepared to end that nightmare. In the skies above their capital system, the greatest fleet in history gathered. Thousands of ships stood ready, filling the void with walls of steel and firepower. Battleships larger than cities, cruisers armed with the strongest weapons, and swarms of smaller craft, all waiting for the Phantom. On the surface of the capital world, billions of civilians looked to the skies, praying their empire would hold. The Council of Lords promised them safety. They promised the Phantom would not pass. But deep inside, even they were afraid. And then, as if answering their fear, the Phantom came. The black warship slid into the system like a shadow. No warning, no signal, only silence. For a moment, the vast fleet held its breath. Then alarms erupted across the comms. "It's here. Enemy ship detected. All forces, prepare for engagement." The battle began. The Empire's fleet unleashed its fury. Beams of light brighter than suns crossed the void. Torpedoes streaked forward, thousands at once, filling space with fire. The capital system shook with the force of their weapons. The Phantom did not dodge. It drifted forward, calm and silent, as if daring them to strike. Explosions engulfed its dark form. For a heartbeat, the fleet believed it had won. The admirals shouted in triumph, soldiers roared in relief. But when the smoke cleared, the Phantom still lived. Its black hull was untouched. Then it answered. A beam of red fire shot from its side, slicing through a line of cruisers as if they were paper. 5 ships shattered in seconds, their fragments glowing in the dark. Panic spread instantly. Shields are useless. Nothing can stop it. But the Empire would not retreat. Not here, not in front of their capital. They unleashed their greatest weapon, a super dreadnought, a ship so massive it blotted out the stars. Its cannons could break moons, its shields could withstand armies. The admiral aboard laughed when he saw the Phantom. "End this ghost," he commanded. The dreadnought opened fire. Blasts of energy like giant suns poured across space, swallowing the Phantom in endless explosions. For minutes, the void burned. And yet, the Phantom emerged again, unharmed. The dreadnought trembled. Its admiral's laughter died. The Phantom fired once. A single shot. The red beam tore through the supership's core, and in an instant, the Empire's pride was gone, exploding into a storm of fire that lit the skies of the capital world. The civilians below screamed as they watched their invincible protector fall. The humans inside the Phantom warship remained silent. Captain Darius Kane stood in the command chamber, his eyes cold as steel. He gave only one order. Continue. The Phantom moved with impossible speed, cutting through formation after formation. Battleships crumbled, carriers erupted, fighters scattered like insects. No matter how many ships the Empire threw forward, the Phantom destroyed them all. Alien admirals shouted in despair. Fall back. Protect the capital. Save the Council. But nothing could stop the storm. On the surface of the capital world, the Council gathered in fear. They had promised safety, but now they saw the truth with their own eyes. The Phantom warship was unstoppable. Their Empire's power, built over centuries, was burning away in hours. "Who are these humans?" one lord cried. "How can they wield such power?" No one answered, because deep inside, they already knew. Above, the battle reached its climax. The Phantom charged its ultimate weapon. The red glow across its hull brightened, lines of energy pulsing like veins of fire. Every alien ship turned toward it in desperation, firing with everything they had. "Stop it! Destroy the Phantom before it fires!" But it was too late. The Phantom released its fury. A massive wave of energy spread outward, a storm of red fire that swept across the fleet. Hundreds of ships vanished in an instant, erased from existence. The sky itself seemed to burn. Silence followed. The Empire's greatest fleet, the pride of their capital, the shield of their people, was gone. Only wrecks and flames remained. The Phantom warship floated alone among the ruins, untouched, unstoppable. Inside, Captain Kane watched the destruction. His crew stood with him, their faces lit by the glow of victory. "This is only the beginning," Kane said quietly. "The galaxy will remember what it tried to erase. Humanity will not be forgotten again." The Phantom turned its gaze toward the capital world below. Billions watched in terror, knowing their time was short. The Empire had thought itself eternal. But now, the age of humans was rising, and nothing could stop it. The battle was over. The war had only begun. Shadows across the planet below. The Empire's proud fleet, the greatest armada in history, was gone. In its place stood only silence, and a single black warship. The Phantom. Every eye on the capital world was fixed on the sky. Civilians, soldiers, and rulers alike stared in horror. Their shield, their pride, their Empire's strength had been shattered by one ship, one enemy they thought long dead. Inside the council hall, the alien lords trembled. The chamber that once echoed with arrogance now shook with fear. The most powerful rulers in the galaxy, leaders of thousands of worlds, could do nothing but watch. At last, one of them broke the silence. His voice was desperate. "Open a channel. We must speak to them." A trembling officer obeyed. The comms lit up, sending a plea into the void. "Unknown vessel, Phantom warship, we surrender. Please, stop this destruction. The Empire will pay. We will give you peace." For a moment, only static answered. Then, a human voice filled the hall. Cold, calm, unforgiving. "There will be no peace. Not today." The lords froze. The humans had spoken. Captain Darius Kane stood at the center of the Phantom's command chamber, his crew watching in silence. His eyes burned as he spoke into the comms. "You burned Earth. You slaughtered billions. You thought we would fade into dust. But we endured. We built this ship in the ashes of our world. And now we are here." On the capital world, the Council's faces turned pale. They had buried the memory of Earth long ago. Now, the ghosts of their victims stood before them in flesh and steel. Kane's voice grew harder. "This is not war. This is justice. Every world you enslaved, every life you destroyed, we carry their voices. And we will not stop until your empire is gone." The alien lords shouted over one another in panic. "You cannot destroy us all. We are too many. You will burn with us." But their words were nothing against the truth. The Phantom had already proven what humanity could do. The warship's weapons began to charge again. Red light spread across its hull, glowing brighter, until it looked like a star of vengeance hanging over the capital world. On the surface, civilians screamed. Families fled into bunkers. Soldiers pointed their weapons at the sky, though they knew it was hopeless. Billions watched their doom approach. The council fell to its knees. One lord raised his claws, begging, "Spare us! Spare the innocent! Please!" But the human captain gave no mercy. His voice was final. "There are no innocents in an empire built on blood. This is your judgment." The Phantom fired. A storm of red fire poured down from orbit, crashing into the capital world's defenses. Shields shattered instantly. Towers of steel melted. The ground itself split apart under the force. The Empire's heart was burning. From space, the planet glowed as fire spread across its surface. Cities vanished, fortresses crumbled, and the council hall itself was swallowed in flames. The rulers of the galaxy were gone in a single strike. The Phantom watched in silence. Its crew did not cheer, did not celebrate. They stood in quiet resolve. For them, this was not glory. It was justice delivered. As the planet burned below, Captain Kane spoke once more, his words broadcast across the stars. "Remember this day. Humanity has returned. You thought us broken. But we rise stronger than before. From now on, no empire, no tyrant, no enemy will forget our name. The age of humans begins now." The message spread to every corner of the galaxy. Across alien worlds, fear gripped rulers and soldiers alike. The Phantom was not just a ship, it was a warning. The humans had come back, and they would not stop. Then, just as suddenly as it had arrived, the Phantom vanished into the void once more. No signal. No trace. Only silence, and the burning memory of what it had done. The galaxy stood frozen. Civilizations that once mocked humanity now whispered their name in fear. The empire that once ruled unchallenged was broken. And in the shadows of space, the Phantom continued its journey, preparing for the battles still to come. Because for humanity, this was not the end. It was only the beginning.